Cohen, and I'm the Business Development Coordinator of the high-tech practice in Gross Law Firm. Our high-tech practice has over 60 lawyers dedicated to high-tech ventures clients, and our clients operate in a variety of technology and innovation fields. They range from seed companies through growth stages and up to maturity. Today, we will present 5 of our clients, Israeli startups that operate in different verticals. With hundreds of active high-tech clients that we have been accompanying in the past years, it is our honor and pleasure to help these teams grow and scale. I'm very excited to have with us some of these entrepreneurs that will tell you more about their work, the problem they are solving, their impact, and where they are headed next. Each panelist will pitch or have 7 to 8 minutes to share their story with you and then answer any questions if you have. So if you have questions, you have the Q&A box or the chat to write it down. And if it's a super complicated one, please raise your hand or just let us know using the chat, and then we'll open your microphone to ask it. So thank you again for joining us. And I wish you to have an insightful journey with us today. Before we start, let me welcome Dr. Eyal Shenhav, Head of High-Tech and Venture Capital Practice in our firm, to say a few words, and then we can dive into this demo day.
Thank you, Yarden. Welcome everybody to the we're planning to have a monthly demo day, so this is the January one. Very excited about the opportunity to connect between our clients and both from the investor side and from the company side. And I'm sure it'll be a very interesting session. So again, thank you, Yarden, for organizing it. Thank you also to Kohavit, our marketing director, for helping the organizing. And let's start. Let's go have the first company present.
Yes, I would like, okay, so first I would like to invite all the panelists to open their cameras for a second so I can present you, so our invitees will know who will join us today. So I see Daniela and Tomer. Wait, let me see everyone. Okay, so I see everyone. Okay, so we have here Itzik from Geox. Geox AI extract comprehensive, accurate property data out of aerial imagery and targets the US insurance industry via a SaaS platform. Itzik will present today first. Then we'll have Tomer, founder and CEO at Solytics. Solytics provides a data management and business analytics platform for B2C organization. Their platform enables brands to harness the power of their distributed data for advanced analytics, product and marketing automation, and business insights. Then we will have Daniela with us, co-founder and CEO at AIVF, which develops a powered AI and image processing platform to address significant unmet needs in the IVF ecosystem, aiming to improve outcome and increase patient satisfaction. Our fourth panelist today is Avi, founder and CEO at Evridio, which will tell us how Evridio is taking TV broadcasting solutions to the cloud and disrupting an entire ecosystem. And then lastly, Alon, co-founder and CEO at NeuroSense Therapeutics, the hardest word to say, which is an exciting clinical stage biotech company that develops treatments for ALS as well as additional neurodegenerative diseases. So I'm very excited today, as you all can see. And I want to welcome first Itzik from Geox. Itzik, you're welcome. And I will stop sharing my screen now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, great.
Great. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. Good afternoon, all. I'm very glad to be here. It's always exciting to be first. My name is Isaac Lavie. I'm CEO and co-founder at Geox. Geox revolutionized the property intelligence market to extract comprehensive, accurate property data out of aerial imagery, and we serve insurance industry via the SaaS platform. My story starting a few years ago when I lead the technology team in the 99 units in the IDF. We needed reliable and accurate property information to make a critical decision. However, there is a huge gap between what we expected to get and what we actually received. When I went out of the army, I realized the same pain point that I felt actually represent a huge problem in the many industries. And I was and I was really excited to solve it. I'm very proud to say, as the CEO of GeoX, that we have solved the problem in a few big customers. Among them, we can see Apple, Minicree, FEMA, and others. However, these customers are only the tip of the iceberg. And currently, our primary target market is a massive segment of the insurance industry, the insurance agent. There are several that utilize the property for many use cases. Our bottom-up analysis presents a $7.3 billion US dollar property data market in the United States only that exists today. Our long-term vision is to serve various industries. As first step, we focus on the insurance agent. There are more than 400,000 of insurance agents in the United States that are craving for our data. The majority of the insurance agents did not transit to the digital age. They use the same workflow as decades ago. Let's dive into the main challenges they are facing today. First, they are wasting hours of every day searching multiple sources. The most data they find is out of date, incorrect, and incomplete. They submit low quality of submission, results in the bad risk exposure for the insurance carrier, which return low their rent and reducing their compensations. Another issue is phasing in the insurance company, selling online, and now agent need to prove their add value. Our solution is based on two main comprehensive. The first is producing of rich, accurate 3D property data based on GeoX patent AI. We have the ability to produce property data on the entire states. The second is GeoX Property SaaS platform that will provide insurance agent easy access to our accurate property data. We provide more than 18 attributes on each property. What we see here is a short example of those attributes. We know that 40% of all the claims in the insurance industry is related to the roof. So we provide roof condition, roof type, what is the height of the building, and many other attributes that related to the value of the building and to analyze the risk for the flooding or any other natural disaster that happen, like what if there are a pool, what is the distance to fire station, and etc. Have full and accurate data of the customer property is a game changing. Instead of wasting 20 minutes on each phone call with the customer, just asking the question and collect the information. The agent can focus on sell specifically how and to add specifically a value to the customer, offering advice and discount and etc. Up until now, we are bootstrapped. We are grown by our revenues. Now we are raising seed round in order to complete development of our SaaS platform and go to market and scale it. We are raising $4 million. Last month, we signed $2 million term sheet with Israel VCs. We're still looking for additional $2 million. Look what we achieve with in the bootstrap mode, and imagine what we can do with $4 million. I will have example how it's look like, what our magic that we do. So here we can see example of Birmingham, very small piece of our database, Birmingham, United Kingdom. We see the picture from aerial imagery. We can go zoom into specific properties to see what we have here. So we have a couple of buildings, couple of trees, road, very nice roads, and etc. But to understand what very specific information that we have, we need to understand what is the size of the property exactly, and what if there are solar panels, if there are trampoline, etc. So first, we collect the information from the government databases. So we know the parcel of every property. This parcel allows to us to understand who is the owner of the property, what is the valuation of the property, and etc. The second, our algorithms detect all the trees, road, and the building age. As you can see in the blue, this is the building age, and green you can see the trees, and black you can see the road. Here you can see the roof material, so we can understand what is every material that we have on the imagery. So in the blue you can see glass, in the orange you can see tiles, and in the black you can see asphalt. After that, we extract small features like trampoline, solar panel, and many others like air condition, if there are a pool on the property, etc. And we use a triangulation. We take the real imagery and we use a triangulation, and we create 3D of each property that we have. So we understand what is the slope of the roof, what is the roof condition, every facet that we have, what is the height of the building, and etc. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. If there are any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Let's see if we have any questions. I have a question. I wanted to ask, what is your target market? So I know you're pretty focused on insurance company, but do you have any plans for the future?
Yeah, so we are right now raising to create our platform. To build our SaaS platform and to get and to provide very easy access to brokers, to insurance agents, and specifically for an insurance agent in Zending, because today the insurance coming to us and asking for this information to do better marketing, to understand their clients, and to close the sale very shortly instead of wasting time to searching for data.
Great, thank you for clarifying that, Itzik. So I think we're ready to move next, Daniela from AIVF.
Hi everyone, I'm really excited to be here. And thank you Ayal and Yarden for inviting us. I'm Daniela, I'm the co-founder and CEO of AIVF. I'm an embryologist, which is a biologist that works in IVF labs. IVF is in vitro fertilization. And I'm also a biostatistician, and so I'll present AIVF, which is AI for IVF. The first IVF baby was born in 1978, and in 2018, Nature came out with a very interesting paper. We celebrated 40 years of IVF, and Nature wanted to understand how much the IVF technology is rooted in us. And so they projected that by the end of the century, IVF will account for about 3.5% of the global population, which is amazing, unbelievable number. And so in such a huge and underserved fertility market, what we do is we want to make the IVF treatment accessible to all, to whoever needs it. What you see here is an embryo, a human embryo that grows. This is how it looks. This is how we look at it in the IVF lab. And so 1978, the first baby was born. Ever since, 9 million babies. And we do around 2.7 million treatment cycles per year, but only 400,000 newborns born each year. And this embryo, by the way, was born. What is happening is very interesting in terms of demand versus supply, because IVF is becoming is serving a population that doesn't need to do IVF. It's not required. It's not under any medical indications, but we choose to do IVF because we want to delay our childbirth, because we can freeze eggs, because there's employer benefits, and so because we want to time it, and we want to plan the journey and the fertility journey. And so what happens is that demand is very high, but the suppliers, the labs, the IVF clinics cannot handle such demand. And so this is what you see here. If we can answer the demand, we would have been doing 12 million treatments per year, but we only do 2.7 because of the IVF labs, the suppliers. And this is mainly because IVF labs are all, they're manual, and they rely on human embryologists like myself. And so it's a completely analog lab. This is how it looks like. To sum up, IVF treatment today is very expensive. It's a typical cycle cost in the US $20,000. Poor success rates, about 22% success rates, and it's not scalable, limited scale. And so this is all stem from the IVF lab. So if we can take care of the lab, we own the treatment, and we help many people around the world who want to have children and can't. So what is our solution? IVF, we're developing a platform to be put in the IVF lab, and this platform, based on very deep technology, is taking care of the lab efficiency, the decision quality, and the service quality. So it's in the lab. It works along with the embryologist and the physicians, and it also connects the patient to be engaged, to be part of the treatment. We are working with 8 clinics around the world. We have the largest database of IVF images of human embryos, embryo videos, patient records. And so with this massive data set and database and data partners, we're developing our systems, and these guys are also would be our first customers. What I'll present now is a retrospective study that we've just concluded, and it's a very interesting to see how so-called digital embryologists can affect the way we do IVF. Our digital embryologist played along with the human embryologist, and it reduced the workload. Success rates were higher. The productivity of the lab increased, and so lab capacity increased, and of course, the patient satisfaction. We're now launching our system. In about 2 years, we would reach our full stack offering, and the end game of this really exciting development is to connect, on the one hand, the clinics, and on the other hand, the consumer, the patient, and then the consumer, the pre-IVF patient. Sorry. So this is us. We founded 2018. We raised about $3 million, very great angels with us, friends and family and angels. So this is the first time that we're reaching out to venture capitals. Our team have very strong background of AI, image processing, deep learning, and we work with Professor Dan Ariely, who's also an investor, because we believe that it's not only a question of very deep algorithmic approach, but also a behavioral aspect that we develop with him. And so this is us. We're on a really exciting journey to bring, to fulfill the dreams of many people around the world. So join us. And I need water, sorry.
Sure. Let's see if we have any question. Eyal, you have a question?
First of all, it's always exciting because as a disclaimer, the CTO of the company was my classmate in high school, and the seed investor was also my classmate. So I feel like back in high school when I talked to AIVF. And I think, Daniela, was a question from the audience. How much are you raising and what are you seeking now to raise? Or
We're raising $5 million. And we're seeking, what do you mean seeking to raise? We're seeking $5 million.
Another question from
Okay,
the panel.
yeah, there's another question.
Another question, what stage are you in the R&D? Have you tested implementation in the labs?
Right. We have, the system is deployed in 4 sites, 4 clinics around the world. To name a few, EVRMA, which is considered the best in the world, Cornell, Cleveland Clinic. We are testing the system as we go, and we aim to first commercialization. Start commercialization would be beginning of 2022. So in about a year. This year we are doing our CE and FDA approval. And right after that, the plan is to start commercialization at the beginning of 2022.
Daniela, we have 30 more seconds since you have on the clock at 9:30.
We have another question. Sorry, the Q&A box. I see that you registered one PCT patent application. Are there other non-published published applications, or can you describe the protection?
Yeah, we have very interesting and deep technology. We have 3 patents so far, and I suggest we take it offline. So if you guys are interested, I would really love to speak with you and reveal more material if needed. So let's take it offline.
Okay, and then one last question. If you can say another word maybe about your tech. So if you if not.
Yeah. No, sure. The very core technology is based on video analysis of human videos of human embryos. We all know the video, the outcome, what happened to the embryo, whether it was implanted, failed, whether it's genetically abnormal, genetically normal. And so what we do is for every embryo that goes into the system, we are able to give information on all aspects of biological milestones and predictions of what would happen to that specific embryo. Normal, abnormal, successful pregnancy, whether it should be freezed, whether it should be transferred, and so forth.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you very much.
Drink some water.
Yeah, I am. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I want to welcome now Avi from Evrideo.
Just a second. Do you see my screen?
Yes, we do.
Excellent. Hi, everybody. My name is Avi, and I'm Evrideo's co-founder and CEO. Thank you for having me today. Let me jump straight into it. So I wonder, how many of you know how much hardware is required to broadcast a linear TV channel? You'd be amazed to realize that all of those sports, news, and Turkish telenovelas that we are all watching cost $1 to $3 million just to set up. And that's before technical support on the go, the control room, and the serving costs. Basically, just a second. Basically, so a video is basically destroying the demand of TV broadcasting hardware. We enable the broadcasters to upload and manage over the cloud their entire content broadcasting, playout management, and live control activity. All of that with zero code integration. What do I mean by destroying? We are allowing broadcasters to save CapEx investment on 10 to 15 different hardware systems. We are giving the broadcasters a one entirely cloud and SaaS solution with a pay-as-you-go subscription model. On top of that, our SaaS layer allows broadcasters to see and manage in real time and remotely from anywhere and at any time their entire stack. Do you remember the days where we were still standing in the dark, waiting for a taxi, wondering if it would ever show up? That's all of that before Uber gave us a way to see what's really going on and everything in real time. Many of our target audience do not know what's going on in real time, unless they are sitting in the control room next to the servers, and we are now changing all of that. And if that's not enough, our solution cuts the time it takes our customers to launch a new channel from a matter of months to a matter of hours. Now, if you ask me, then our biggest edge is offering cloud to cloud, but for real. While other providers are orchestrating servers and third-party solutions, then our solution is entirely cloud-based. They are killing their unit economics and delivery margins while we are able to continuously improve our operational margins. This slide will show how our platform works. In a nutshell, we collect from multiple sources, then we transcode and ingest it into standardized formats. We add metadata, graphics, subtitle, and audios. And then we broadcast it to multiple end takers and broadcasting platforms around the world. This is how our addressable market looks like. We have a massive blue ocean, direct and immediate addressable market opportunity across tiers 2 and 3. And while we completely disrupt a whole new vertical, there is an additional growth opportunity by tapping into the new millennial segment. And by new millennial segment, I mean sports club, musicians, influencers, and brands offering direct, linear, and live content. We intend to be there offering the next generation of video broadcasters with a self-service and automated stack. Now let's talk where we are in terms of traction. We have already acquired 100 channels and over 40 customers worldwide, and we are just getting started. In Israel, our sandbox and lab experiment backyard, we already operate 50% of the local linear channels. Sorry. We have negative churn, 0 customers left us to date, and 40% of our customers added and uploaded additional channels. Now, this is where it really gets interesting. Everything we did so far was with 2 people sales team and 0 marketing. Our product is finally at the point of scaling up and building a proper sales operation and marketing activities around it. I'm a software engineer in my background with 20 years of new venture experience. And my co-founder, Oren, is a technology mastermind. He's been involved in the development of over 50 patents to date, 4 of them with us with the video. In terms of backers, SIBF is backing us up and actively helping us to write the playbook for switching the industry from hardware to cloud. And Nir, our SVP of sales, is a TV broadcasting rockstar. with 20 years of industry experience and a successful exit mark on his belt. This slide sums everything up. From fundraising perspective, we are planning on raising a meaningful round A in 2021, probably in Q2, aiming for 8 to 12 million. Happy to answer any question you may have, guys.
Thank you, Avi. I don't see any questions yet. Maybe you can further explore what other options do your customers currently have? So maybe your competition, or what's the market situation?
Yes. So do you still my screen?
Yeah, go ahead.
So here you can see our main competitors and the landscape in which we compete. Generally speaking, our competitors split into two types of providers: hardware providers wishing to go cloud, and our hardware providers thinking that they could go cloud. Evrideo was born in the cloud.
Perfect, thank you for that.
Avi, what's the revenue model? How do you charge your customers?
We charge per channel, and it depends on the type of channel the customer requires and the amount of resources we need to put into those channels. But it's a per channel revenue model with a subscription as a SaaS and pay-as-you-go subscription model.
Okay.
I think there's someone in the audience raised their hands. Ido, do you want to ask a question? If so, you can maybe write it down, or it's a complicated one. Okay. We'll take it offline. Then thank you, Avi.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Avi. Thank you so much.
So lastly, I want to welcome Alon from NeuroSense Therapeutics.
Thank you, Yarden. I'll share my screen. Excuse me. Okay. So my name is Alon Ben-Nun. I'm the CEO of NeuroSense Therapeutics, and I would like to start with a brief video.
Hi everyone, my name is Shane Hassani. I am the CEO of Prize for Life, and an LS patient myself, as you can see. I am honored to talk to you today at the pitch event and tell you that as an advisory board member of NeuroSense Therapeutics, I advise you to listen well to what Alon has to say. It is going to be fascinating.
Now, I understand how you feel. Imagine how you'd feel sitting next to Shai and talking to him, a very long conversation while he's communicating only via his eyes, same as Stephen Hawking, since he's an ALS patient, as he mentioned. Shai is the inspiration for the establishment of NeuroSense Therapeutics. The conversation with him drove me into gathering great scientists together and try finding the relevant pathways in order to solve this puzzle. So the main purpose of NeuroSense Therapeutics was first and foremost to find an effective treatment for ALS patients. But we are doing more than that. We are also developing therapies for Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease. Here is our core team, a very motivated and devoted team of professionals And here with me is Dr. Oron Yacovi Zeevi, our CSO, who was the CSO at Neuroderm, where she developed the liquid formulation of levodopa-carbidopa for Parkinson's patients. And that was sold to Mitsubishi Tanabe for $1.1 billion. Now she's with us. The board of directors is composed of business people who have very impressive exits under their belts. And this is our pride, the scientific advisory board, in which we have the world-renowned ALS clinicians and neurologists that are working with us and truly believe in Prime-C, our product, the development of Prime-C, and supporting it. As I mentioned before, it's not just ALS, but ALS is the main reason for our existence. And here we are in the clinical phase, in the phase 2 study that will soon come to a close. With regards to Parkinson's disease, we started preclinical studies. And as for Alzheimer's disease, we're about to commence the preclinical phase. I would like to focus now on ALS. And with so little, we achieved so much. We started with preclinical studies with outstanding results, which drove us to run 2 clinical trials, one in the United States and the other here in Israel. And we granted orphan drug from both FDA and EMA. We have a combination use patent and a formulation patent on for our product, Prime-C, and it is an expedited regulatory pathway, 505(b)(2) approved by the FDA, since we have 2 molecules with known safety profile. In the United States alone, there are about 20 to 30,000 ALS patients, and worldwide, it's 500,000 patients, not counting their family members who are eager for an effective treatment for their family members. The patient's burden in the United States alone is $1.5 billion annually. I didn't mention it, but we should know that the life expectancy of an ALS patient is somewhere between 2 to 5 years. A very devastating disease, leads to paralysis and eventually death due to the death of the motor neurons. So nowadays, the current treatments are not enough. They have very limited efficacy. There are 2 FDA-approved drugs. The patients need much more than what these drugs can give. And novel treatments that are under development mainly failed due to 2 reasons. One is the targets. They were aiming for one target in a very complex disease. And the second is the ability to predict from preclinical studies what will be the outcomes in a clinical trial. So obviously a new approach was required, and a combined therapeutic strategy for treating multiple pathways, this is what we do. So the mechanism of action of our drug and the pathways that we are targeting are relevant not only for ALS, but also for additional neurodegenerative diseases. The tablet you see here, Prime-C, is a unique and sophisticated formulation of ciprofloxacin and celecoxib combined together in specific doses and targeting, as I mentioned, multiple pathways. So in the preclinical studies, the outcomes were outstanding. We'd seen elevation both in the performance of the animal model and the morphology that we conducted. Here in this graph, you can see that we tested ciprofloxacin alone and celecoxib alone, while Prime-C provided a synergistic effect, which was also much higher than riluzole. Riluzole is the standard of care for ALS patients, and you see that Prime-C achieved outstanding results. So this obviously drove us as fast as we can to the clinical stage. As I mentioned, we are running 2 clinical studies, and the interim analysis we conducted, we revealed 2 things. One is the drug is safe and tolerable. But what was unexpected is from a very small study to see that we reduced the functional and respiratory deterioration of the patients. This was amazing, and we were thrilled about it. And now we are continuing towards the end of the studies, and soon we'll analyze and reveal the results. Here are some graphs with regards to these studies. You see that we are flattening the curve of deterioration of the patients. And here, when we look at the respiratory function and compare it to a virtual arm, meaning what was predicted for the patients, we see that 74% of respiratory rate was predicted, and they actually achieved 83% when they took Prime C. So these are very exciting results, and now we are moving forward, and we are initiating a pre-IPO round, raising $8 million to support a double-blind clinical study, a robust clinical trial, phase 2B. We want to secure the funds by the end of this quarter and initiate a phase 2B study in the third quarter of 21, and afterwards to kick off an IPO and raise additional funds in order to support the clinical studies for Alzheimer and Parkinson. So you'd see now that we had very exciting results both in the preclinical phase and in the interim analysis we conducted in the clinical studies. And it's a 505(b)(2) plan, meaning that very short time to market. Shai Rishoni, whom you've seen at the beginning, passed away in May 2018. But for the patients that are diagnosed today, this is a game changer. And we would like to invite you to play your part in it. Thank you.
Thank you, Alon. I don't see we have any questions from the audience. Maybe you can.
Where do you plan to go public? In which stock market?
On NASDAQ.
Maybe you can tell us a bit more about the process of testing the drug with ALS.
Sure, of course. So as you had seen, it's a tablet. The patients are receiving the tablet twice daily, each day. Since it's a chronic disease, the drug is administered chronically, each and every day. It's a very plain therapy in terms of administration. Of course, it's very complex and unique in terms of the targeting that and the mechanisms of action that we are touching here.
No, I was aiming to hear about the feedback that you got. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. From the patients?
Yes.
Well, I can tell you that all the patients that are participating in our clinical study, all the patients, with no exceptions, want to continue with the treatment after the study. And of course, we agreed to that, and we are very happy for that. And we're going to supply the drug after the study's completion. Actually, few patients already completed 12 months dosing, and they are receiving Prime C for the next 3 years at least, or until we'll be in the market.
Thank you. I see we have 2 more questions in the Q&A box.
Of course.
So the first one, what is the current valuation?
The valuation will be discussed in private conversations.
Okay. And then if you can describe any process with the investment banks, WRT, the Q4, NASDAQ IPO.
With regards to?
With regards to, sorry.
Sorry, I didn't hear the question.
If you can describe any process with investment banks with regards to the Q4 NASDAQ IPO that you're planning.
Of course. So we are in a process of preparations towards an IPO in several aspects. And one of them is, of course, discussions with the underwriters and soon we'll make a decision which underwriter is the best fit for us, and we'll sign with an underwriter in order to execute the process.
Thank you. So we're just on time, I guess, if we don't have any other question.
Thank you, Yarden.
Thank you,
And all.
Alon. Thank you to all panelists, founders, for letting us watch your pitches. It was super enriching for me. I'm sure that's for all of the audience as well. I would like to thank all of you again for joining us today, and I hope you enjoyed the event. And I'm pleased to inform you that the next demo day that Gross Law Firm will host will be on February 15th. And I will again send a formal invitation with the presenting companies and their information. So you should make sure that you're on our mailing list. And I want to thank again Dr. Eyal Shenav and Kochavit Akunis for helping me putting this event together.
Then just one last word. I want to say this is a service we're doing for the community. We're trying to match between promising startups and investors. So all the participants from the investor side, please feel free to forward to Yarden names of participants so we can get more people involved.
Yes,
and hopefully, feel free. It's a free, obviously, feel free to invite anyone you think can add value. And thank you for joining, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
I will leave my email for a second. If Alon, you can unshare your screen for a sec. Thank you. So you can have, you can see here my email and Eyal's email, and I welcome you to, of course, contact us if you have any questions regarding our demo days or the presenting companies. We're here for you, and we want to thank you again for joining us today, and have a great evening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right.
Thank you.